Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical, and welcome to all of the new subscribers, and there are a lot of you. I did a video about a week and a half ago about suppressor wait times getting shorter, and that video did very well. And there have been over 1,300 comments so far as of when I'm recording this right now. And I've always been proud of the fact that I've been able to answer every comment in my videos. I've done that for 2.5 years. But I'm still trying to catch up the comments on that video. Like I said, 1,300 comments so far. And so I wanted to make a video answering some of the questions that people had about the NFA process, the wait times, and what has happened since they actually shut down the eForms website 2 days after I put that video up. And so that's what we're doing in this video. I hope I can answer some of your questions. Make sure you're subscribed, and let's begin. So as I said in the intro, I put out this video about NFA wait times being quick because I was seeing tons of really fast approvals, especially in the different gun groups I'm in on Facebook and stuff. I'm in, NFA groups, silencers and suppressors, the meal team group, which again, I always want to shout those guys out. My favorite group on Facebook, meal team 6.1 mid-tier rifle builders. If you, like me, want to up your rifle game, join that group and those guys will show you what's up. Be prepared though, if your gun is a piece of trash, you might get a little ribbing for it, but that's how we learn, right? But anyway, because of these groups, I've seen just all of these very fast approval times, and just really recently. And I got a lot of comments from people that were like, oh, that's bullshit. Nobody's getting approved in 3 days. Well, a lot of people are. And you can see it just in the comments of that video. Tons of people shared their own personal experience. And a lot of it, people getting approved in 2 weeks. A lot of people getting approved in a matter of days. Some people getting approved same day. Well, I have kind of found out why by doing some digging. And we're going to get to that here in a minute. But first, right after I uploaded that video, 2 days later, the ATF shut down the eForms site. And so the name of that video was "The Time to Buy a Suppressor is Right Now." And then all of a sudden, you couldn't buy a suppressor right now. And there were a lot of theories as to why they shut down the eForms website. Specifically, the ATF, I guess, came out and said that it was for budgetary reasons, which again is BS because they do have money earmarked for NFA approvals. And the Congress has specifically told them that they have to speed up NFA approvals. And that was even before their budget got cut anyway, which it did. I want to take a quick minute to talk about this video's sponsor, which is Aura. And the reason why is because it's a product that I actually do believe in. Now that I've been using it for a little while, it's actually improved my life. I get a lot less spam calls than I used to get, which is kind of huge. I use my phone for work, and so I have to answer numbers that I don't recognize, and it's nice to not be getting those spam calls all the time anymore. The other thing is I had my bank account hacked 3 times last year, and I had to get new debit cards at least twice. And then I had to, get all of my bills that were automatically paid fixed and switched over to the new cards. Huge hassle. And Aura takes care of all that stuff so that you don't end up having to deal with those kinds of problems anymore. They scour the internet and they find wherever your information is being sold to scammers and spammers and anybody else that wants to use your information to sell your information, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, which helps get rid of all that stuff so you don't have to deal with that anymore. And ever since I've been using it, I actually have noticed a big difference. And in fact, I get alerts from Aura when they find where my information has been leaked, and then they fix that for me. And that's been huge. And they do a lot of other things too. They have VPN, password management, parental controls, all kinds of stuff, and you get it at a very low price. A lot less than you would pay if you bought all of those things individually. And it helps the channel. With YouTube demonetizing pretty much all of my videos now, if you sign up for Aura, It helps me grow the channel, and that is greatly appreciated. So please check out Aura. Get 2 weeks for free if you use my link, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. I'd really appreciate it. I respect my privacy, and I respect yours. The ATF's budget did get cut by 7%, but not in any way that should affect NFA approvals. And in fact, Congress told them that they have to speed up NFA approvals because it is ridiculous that people are waiting a year or more to get a suppressor, especially when if you can buy a firearm legally, if you can pass a background check for a 4473, a standard NICS check that for most people takes 15 minutes, and you can walk out of the gun store, you basically fill out your form, they do the background check, and you leave. Sometimes you do get delayed, things like that happen. Sometimes people get denied, but most of those are false denials, and when they fight it, it gets approved eventually. But if you can buy a firearm legally, you can buy an NFA item legally. So there's not really any logical reason for NFA approvals to take as long as they do. And, a big thing that the ATF has always said is that they have this huge backlog. There's up to 500,000, forms in the NFA system at any given time. As of last week, there was like 290,000. I'm sure a lot of new people went out and tried to buy suppressors when they were seeing all of these quick approval times. But the approval times were getting faster, but they weren't all getting faster. And that's one thing that I want to reiterate, because a lot of the comments that I got were people going, this is BS. I've been waiting 7 months. I've been waiting 9, 10 months. Well, I was wondering why that is, and I did some digging. Apparently, and I guess the ATF has a FAQ on their eForms at this point, and so they've kind of come out and said why that is. Apparently, if they run your background check and you get an approval, like a regular NICS approval like you would buying a gun, well, then they just push you to the front of the list. They take care of the rest of the process, 8-minute process, and bam, you can get your silencer. And so that is why it seemed like all of these people were getting approved off the top of the stack. But then people that, had put in forms a long time ago were still waiting. And I'm one of the ones that's still waiting as well. Now, my most recent one hasn't been in very long. I certified it on January 10th. And so it's been about 60 days at this point, 2 months. My first suppressor took 11 months. But I am one of those people that does get delayed on background checks when I'm buying guns, lowers, Glock frames, whatever. Mine don't always come back immediately. Now, sometimes they do. And it's hard to ever know what's going to happen. I actually did get delayed one time when buying a Glock 19X. And then a few days later, gun store called me up and said, come on in and pick up your Glock. And so now, after reading this about why some people are getting their approvals very fast and others are not, I have a feeling that I'm going to be waiting for a while. But it's not about me. This is about you guys. And, I feel like the system should kind of be first come, first served, but apparently it's not. And I'm wondering a little bit if this is just the ATF's excuse. I get it that it's their reason as to why there are all these quick approvals lately. But that still doesn't explain people that are waiting a year. Those NFA, those NICS background checks, even the ones that do get delayed, they don't get delayed a year. And so, but it seems like if you don't get the instant approval, then they just push your application aside and good luck. You might it might take forever. But so what has been happening with the whole eForms site getting shut down? Well, it did get shut down. They said it was for budgetary reasons. We all know that's BS. And then it came back up like 2 days later. And basically the ATF tried to say that it was just down for maintenance. But a lot of sources have said that that's not true, that they were pressured into putting it back up. And We'll probably never know the truth, but there are theories out there, and a lot of those theories are backed up by apparently actual like inside sources there. But the eForms site is back up. You can put Form 4s in, Form 1s, whatever you want. If you are filing as a trust, it does seem to be taking longer than individual. Seems to only really be the individual forms that are coming in very quickly. So if you were wondering or thinking about putting in a Form 4 for a suppressor, if you file as an individual, you'll probably get it back quicker. That's generally always been the case, but usually it's only been like an average of 10 days faster as an individual than as a trust. But right now, all of a sudden, we're seeing individuals getting them in a matter of days or weeks, and trusts seem to be on the regular timeline of 7 to 9 months or whatever. But even though the site is back up, people have still been having problems. Now, this website it's in my opinion, not designed very well. And I've had problems with it in the past. The first Form 1 that I did for an SBR, it took me like 3 days to certify it. It just kept kicking me off the system and having issues. Well, apparently a lot of people have been having issues since the site came back on last week, trying to certify Form 4s, Form 1s. And apparently the ATF is working on it. I keep getting emails from them. I've gotten more emails from the ATF in the last week than I have in like a year, or ever since I, opened up an account on eForms. And it kind of sucks because every time I see an email from the ATF, I get a little bit excited thinking that it is my newest suppressor being approved. And of course it's not. It's just them telling me eForms is back up, or if you're having trouble logging in, this is what you want to do. And they want you to use the forgot my password button. These little things that honestly, I'm sure they matter to some people, but when you're waiting for a suppressor, you open up that email and it's a little frustrating that it's not your suppressor approval. It's like, come on guys, if you're thinking about me, think about me. Approve my suppressor. But that is just more that I wanted to let you guys know about all of those things, and the fact that are these quick approvals still happening? Well, yes, they are. If you are someone that goes into the gun store and when you fill out a NICS or your 4473 to get your NICS background check done to purchase a firearm, if you come back approved right away, generally, you might be one of the lucky ones that gets a quick NFA approval right now. Again, that seems to only be applying to individuals and not trusts, but it still might be worth it. A lot of the comments that I got were people that bought their very first suppressor and they got it back in 2 days. And those are the lucky ones. Like I said, my first suppressor took 11 months. And I think most people take, 7 to 9 months. So a lot of people are getting them back very quickly, but you cannot guarantee that. And I do want to make that clear that not everyone is going to get a week or less approval. There are still a lot of people out there that are waiting and have been waiting for a long time. And again, like I said, it seems like they're approving them off the top of the stack. Now, if that is to try to, bring the average wait time down to look good for Congress, because Congress has told them that they have to speed up NFA approval times, maybe that's what they're trying to do. Oh, well, if we get a bunch of people that are approved in 2 days, well, then that brings the average way down from the people that have been out there a year. But if they just approve those people that have been waiting for a year, well, that doesn't really affect the average a whole lot, at least not bringing it down. So maybe that's the game that they're playing. Maybe because I make videos highly critical of the ATF and the NFA process, maybe my suppressors will always take 11 months or a year. I'm not sure. I would hope that that has nothing to do with it. I'm a law-abiding citizen, and everything that I'm doing here is totally legal. I wouldn't be showing it on YouTube if it wasn't, right? But again, not about me. This is about you guys. If you do have any other questions about this, be sure to let me know in the comments. I will try to get to every comment. I'm still trying to catch up on the 1,300 comments from that video, but I have gotten to a lot of them. I do really enjoy interacting with you guys. If you want to support the channel, the best way is to join Aura. It is the main sponsor of the channel, and the link is in the description. You get 2 weeks free with my link, and then if you decide to stick with it, it's only $12 a month after that. And it is a great service, a great product. I do use it myself. Otherwise, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this video with anyone that you know that might be thinking about getting into the NFA world, wants to get a suppressor. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped to get clapped.